From there, I go to a description of Mahayana Buddhism, which, as most of you know, evolved around 100 after the Common Era in India, emphasizing wisdom or prajna, which is characterized by sunyata or emptiness, and also compassion as a result of the bodhisattva ideal. The scriptures were written in Sanskrit. It expanded into the northern countries of China, Korea, Japan. And the key difference here, or one key difference from Theravadan Buddhism, is that the practices were designed for lay persons as well as for monks and nuns. Within the Theravada school, it's my understanding that the job of the monks and nuns is to teach the people, the lay people, and the job of the lay people is to provide resources for the monks and nuns. In any case, in Mahayana, there are approaches that are endorsed for pursuit by lay followers as well as for monks and nuns. And of course, the key schools involve Tendai, Zen, Pure Land, and some would include, as I indicated previously, some would include Shingon or esoteric Buddhism. Now, there are some schools, obviously, that I didn't include here, the school for the Avatamsaka Sutra, the school for Nichirenism, but, I'm trying to kind of keep it narrow for the purpose of these students. But I am, as the next slide indicates, emphasizing here the Bodhisattva vow. And I'll also be emphasizing the practices of the Bodhisattva that are analogous to the Eightfold Path within the Theravadan school, namely the 6 paramitas or perfections, the Bodhisattva's practice, which are listed here. Now, I will be putting a lot of emphasis on the 6th paramita, prajna. And the reason why is that I think this is in many ways the most important concept / practice within Buddhism as a whole, really. Most of you who are watching this video are quite familiar with the notion of prajna. Sutras addressing it, the Prajnaparamita Sutras, are a key aspect of my channel. And if you haven't been exposed to this, you certainly will want to focus on it some. And, to further reinforce this notion of the paradoxical nature of the Wisdom Sutras, I'm going to actually read an excerpt from Suzuki's Studies on the Lankavatara Sutra, where he says, "When Prajnaparamita Sutras are read for the first time by those who have not been initiated into the Buddhist way of thinking, they may appear as the climax of absurdity. Think of a man who is a no-man, seeking after a mind which is a no-mind. And further, think of him as not knowing of anything being grasped by him, when, for all we can guess, he seems to be in the midst of so-called enlightenment itself. What could be more nonsensical than this? And we are asked not to get alarmed, nor terrified. The Mahayana teaching, according to the Prajnaparamita, seems to be navigating over a stormy ocean, where the boat has lost her compass and all her sailing paraphernalia. Can this really be the case with Mahayana Buddhism? The one most important thing that students of Buddhism have to realize at the very outset of their study is that Buddhism is not a system of philosophy, has nothing to do with speculations as such, has no intention to present a logically coherent formula of thought. What the Buddhist teaching professes to do is to get us truthfully acquainted with the ultimate facts of existence. It requires us firmly to grasp facts based on personal experience, for when this is attained, all the rest, including intellection, theorization, or philosophizing, will follow itself according to the requirements of a mind in which the experience takes place. It will therefore be a great mistake to take the Mahayana Sutras, such as the Prajnaparamita Sutras, for a series of, quote, discourses on the metaphysics of the Mahayana school of Buddhism. They are based upon intuitive knowledge gained regarding the religious life. Their statements may logically be untenable or impossible, but they have not lost sight of the facts or experiences that have flashed through their minds. All their paradoxes, contradictions, incomprehensibilities, and even all their apparently nonsensical utterances must be reduced first of all to their intuitions. Buddhist students are, therefore, requested to dig patiently down to the bedrock which forms the basis of these utterances if they desire to make them reveal their inmost secrets. So, that again is something that I hope will communicate to the students the idea that Buddhism, this whole debate, is Buddhism a philosophy or a religion? That, I would argue that even though there are some very elegant and sophisticated philosophical views expressed within different branches and schools of Buddhism, that ultimately it is a religion. That is my view.